Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Sports Talk with Austin, your daily dose of sports and entertainment. And, you know, and today on the show, I've got some breaking news to share with you all. But first, before we get into that, I'd like to say we just reached a big milestone, for me at least, 20 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and I hope to continue making great content. Hopefully, more people will subscribe, like, and comment, and hopefully, I'm making great content for everyone out there, and hopefully, they enjoy it. But on to the breaking news, and the news that broke earlier today is that Cam Rising has officially announced that he will return to Utah for the 2024-2025 season, as he announced it on his Twitter and Instagram. One more year. Cam Rising, who has been on injury reserve all year after a nasty ACL tear in the Rose Bowl loss to Penn State last year in 2022, has announced his return. One more year. He's coming back, and now Utah is making the jump to the Big 12, and that's going to bring up a lot of questions. Is Utah the favorite in the Big 12 with the new additions of Arizona, Arizona State, and Colorado? Those are all very interesting, and we'll get to that in just a second. But we got to take a look at some of the statisticals and numbers behind it all, because a lot of people know don't understand, but understand the importance of Cam Rising to Utah. But there are a lot of people that do understand. But for those who don't understand or already understand, stand. For those who don't understand, we'll get this. This will help you out. So Utah, up to this point, in the season, has been without Cam Rising all year long. There's questions whether or not he would make it to the beginning of the start against Florida, and then Bryson Barnes came in and had won the job over him and Nate Johnson, and they got to a record of 7-4, bowl eligible, looking to go 8-4 with a win against Colorado. But it brings up an interesting point. Utah, with and without Cam Rising, is very startling difference. Without Cam Rising, they're 8-4 because he did miss last year after USC against Washington State. Bryson Barnes stepped in that night, got the dub, so they're 8-4 without him. But with Cam Rising, they're 18-7, and they've won 2 Pac-12 championships back to back with him. Cam Rising, is the leader, the heart and soul of Utah. He is Utah, and he is what makes that team go. And as you can tell, there's a big difference between, the numbers. As with him, they're 18-7. Without him, they're 8-4. Still a winning record. Kyle Whittingham knows how to get his guys to play. But Cam Rising's presence was definitely missed this year. But and also, you look at some of the games that they won this year. They beat USC without him. They beat Florida. They hung in there with Washington. So this Utah team does have grit altogether. But you have to think, if Cam Rising was there, his production and his actual presence being there, would Utah be going to a third straight Pac-12 title game? We don't know. But here's some staggering numbers to show you what the production has been like with Cam Rising from 2020 to 2022. He's been on IR, and he shut down the season this year. He so there were no actual data to back this up. But Cam Rising, in his short 3 years here at Utah, has a total of 5,572 passing yards, 46 TDs, 14 interceptions, and 61 point percent completion percentage. Those are some very good numbers, to say the least, especially the completion percentage. Almost complete 65% of his passes. He's very efficient with the football, and he doesn't turn over the ball. Just 14 interceptions. A lot of quarterbacks would dream of that kind of thing. Almost 6,000 career passing yards, almost 50 touchdowns in his career. What a great statistical run he's been on, and Utah has won a lot of games with it, including back-to-back Pac-12 championships. He only had one start in 2020, and that was a loss. But other than that, he's played the full 21 and only missed one game in 22, and they ended up winning that game. But Utah and Cam Rising have both benefited from each other, as the numbers compel. And it leads to a lot of people to believe if Cam Rising would come back or not this year, and he did. Cam Rising is coming back. And now that brings up a very interesting question. Will Cam Rising lead Utah to a Big 12 title next year, when they make the jump. Will be very interesting. Although Texas, Oklahoma, they will not be there next year, so that is a huge roadblock gone for the Utes. But Colorado, Arizona State join. You got Oklahoma State. You've got TCU, you've got BYU, West Virginia, Cincinnati. You've got all these teams, Houston, all these teams still there. Oklahoma, Texas were the biggest threats, but since they are now officially leaving for the SEC next year, it opens up the door now for Utah and other teams coming in. And I think with a healthy Cam Rising, he has shown on paper and on the field that when he is healthy, the production goes through the roof, and Utah gets a lot of wins. And they've gotten big wins over USC and Oregon in his time at Utah. Now they're looking to transfer that into the Big 12 and lead him to a Big 12 title. And I personally think Cam Rising, I'm glad he's happy, healthy, and I'm glad he's making his return because he's a heck of a football player. And does Utah become the automatic favorite in the Big 12? We'll have to see. There's still a lot of football, long time before we get there. We still got a lot of football left this season, but Utah will be a formidable force, especially with Cam Rising, Brent Keithy, who missed all the season, his running mate. So Utah's going to have a lot of weapons back, and they're going to have their quarterback back, and Kyle Whittingham, who's a great head coach, should get Utah to great heights again. But Utah looks like they're in pretty good shape for 2024, and they look like a team that's going to be formidable. But another thing I wanted to touch on about this situation is Cam Rising. A lot of people, could he have gone to the NFL draft because he is a senior? If he hadn't declared for injury eligibility, could he have gone to the NFL draft? He's got a loaded quarterback class with Caleb Williams, possibly Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and with all those great quarterbacks in there, I think it was very wise Cam Rising decided to stay and come back for another year. And up his play for the NFL scouts, and he really wants to lead Utah to the college football playoffs and to win a Rose Bowl with them. That's been his goal since day one, and he'll have that chance next year, especially with the 12-team playoff, and he has a chance to win the national championship at Utah. But that was the breaking news of the day, or not breaking news, but news of the day. Cam Rising returns to Utah for 2024, and it's big news, especially next year for the Big 12. The Big 12 doesn't get any easier for any teams that are currently in it now, especially with the additions of Utah, Colorado, Arizona State. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Cam Rising does next year. Hopefully he's fully healthy next year. He's ready to go, and we'll see if he repeats the same success he had in the Pac-12. But though, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bells for more great content. We got plenty more great things coming this week. We got rivalry week pick'ems coming up this week. Video coming out. Me and Jackson Johnson do rivalry week Saturday night recap where we go over all things rivalry week on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But yeah, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for the 20 subscribers. I appreciate it, and I hope I'm making you all great content. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sports Talk with Austin. Peace out. Go Cards.